Hello dear students, welcome to Julius Caesar Act 3 Scene 1, the second video. In the first video we had talked about the assassination of Caesar and how immediately after the assassination the people are perturbed, they're worried, and Brutus and Cassius are trying to calm them down, and there is a commotion. Okay, and now this is the second part of the same Act 3 Scene 1, and here we find that Antony comes and meets with Brutus and the conspirators. Julius Caesar Act 3 Scene 1, and we have now re-entered Trebonius, because we know in the previous thing that Trebonius had in the previous video 1, we had seen that Trebonius had taken Antony away from the Senate so that Caesar is left alone with the conspirators. Now we have Trebonius re-entering the Senate, and he can see that Caesar has been assassinated. Now Cassius says, where's Antony? Because Trebonius had taken away Antony, so he's asking Trebonius, where's Antony? Trebonius says, fled to house amazed. Means Antony has run away to his house and he's amazed. I mean, he's shocked by the news that Caesar has been assassinated. Men, wives and children stare, cry out and run as it were doomsday. So the horrific news of Caesar's assassination is affecting all the people, with men, wives and children stare and cry out and run as if it were doomsday, as if it was the last day or the day of the judgment, as if heavens are literally falling. Okay. Then Brutus says, fates, we will know your pleasures, that we shall die. We know, but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. So ultimately we will know fate, when we shall die. Okay, we all know that we shall die, but it is the time of the dying that draws the days out and men stand upon. And what our men are concerned with is how long they will live and when death will come. Then Cassius says, why? He that cuts off 20 years of life, cuts off so many years of fearing death. So Cassius is trying to be satirical here. He says, why? He that cuts off 20 years of someone's life, cuts off so many years of fearing death, because Brutus says that men are concerned only with when they will die. So whenever they live, they're always fearing about death. So if somebody's life is cut short by 20 years, so they're cutting short 20 years of fearing death. Now Brutus says, agrees with that, grant that, and then death is a benefit. So if we agree with that, then death is a benefit, because we have to fear less. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. So if we have assassinated Caesar, if we have killed Caesar, and we have cut short his life, then that have abridged means shortened his time of fearing death. So we have cut short Caesar's life and his fearing of death. So we have done him a favor actually. Now then he says, stoop, Romans stoop, as you can see in the picture, stoop, Romans stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood, up to the elbows, and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons over our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty. So now Brutus is urging all the senators and the Romans to bathe their hands in Caesar's blood, up to the elbows, and besmear the swords. As you can see in the picture, the swords are again covered with blood. And after that, they will walk to the marketplace and wave the daggers over their heads and cry, peace, freedom and liberty, because they are announcing to Rome and the Romans and to the public in general that they have killed Caesar, they have assassinated Caesar, who is no more, and peace, freedom and liberty has returned to Rome. Cassius now joins in and says, stoop then and wash. We can see Cassius stooping down to Caesar's dead body, and now he says, how many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and accents yet unknown. So they are now rejoicing over Caesar's assassination and that they have killed Caesar, and they are saying, how many ages hence shall this our lofty scene, so they are describing the killing of Caesar as something noble, something lofty, be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown. So they are looking to the future when the new states, new countries will emerge and new languages will be there. So this act of theirs will be acted over and over again. Brutus says, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust? So now, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? How many times will you make him? We have killed him once. Now, if you have saying that how many times the scene will be enacted over and over, so he says, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, just to show the people that he has been killed and we have brought democracy back to Rome. And now he's lying in Pompey's basis, means he's lying at the base of Pompey's statue, no worthier than the dust. So his life is gone, and now the dead body is nothing than better than the dust. Then Cassius says, his answers Brutus and says, so oft as that shall be, so as many times that can be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty. So often shall the not of us, means the group of us, the conspirators, be called the men that gave their country liberty. So they are linking their assassination with the noble cause of liberating Rome from the clutches of the dictatorial clutches of Caesar. Now Decius says, what shall be forth? Cassius, I every man, Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. Now Brutus says, soft, who comes here? Now, as you've seen, Brutus is heard someone who's come and says, soft, who comes here? Then enters a servant. As you can see in the picture, a servant is entered. A friend, down Brutus says, that servant is a friend of Antony's. So he's Antony's servant. The servant says, thus Brutus did my master bid me kneel. As you can see, the servant kneeling in front of Brutus. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say. So being prostrate means while kneeling, he asked me to tell you, Brutus, that Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. So in these lines, Shakespeare is clearly telling the difference between Brutus's character and Caesar's character through the eyes of Mark Antony. So Mark Antony sees Brutus as noble, wise, valiant, and honest, and he viewed Caesar as mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus and I honor him. So the servant is telling Brutus that Mark Antony has asked him to tell him, that is Brutus, that Mark Antony loves and honors Brutus. And say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. So I not only was Caesar mighty, bold, royal, and loving, but Mark Antony honored him and loved Caesar as well as feared him. So if Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar has deserved to die in death, to lie in death. So now it says, if Brutus will vouchsafe, means if Brutus will ensure or guarantee that Antony may safely come to him. So Antony will come to the conspirators or to meet him, and he will not be harmed, and be resolved how Caesar has deserved to lie in death, and know the cause why Caesar had to be assassinated. Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living. So if he's been able to hear why the conspirators had to assassinate Caesar, then Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living. So he will start loving Brutus and believing in his cause and why Caesar had to be killed. But will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the streets, the hazards of this untrod state, with all true faith. So say my master Antony. Now Brutus says, thy master is a wise and valiant Roman, he tells the servant. I never thought him worse. Means I did not think that he was anything else other than wise and valiant. He was always wise and valiant for Brutus. Tell him, so please him come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched. So he tells the servant to go back to Mark Antony and tell him that he shall be satisfied, and tell him to come to the Senate, and he shall not be touched, he shall not be harmed. The servant says, I'll fetch him presently, and exits. Now Brutus tells the conspirators and Cassius, I know that we shall have him well to friend. So he tells him that we should have Mark Antony on our side. Cassius says, I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. I wish we should have him on our side, but something tells me that he is not safe, and my misgiving will still fall shrewdly to the purpose. And usually whatever I have felt, what that hunch I had, has been proven true. Brutus says, but here comes Antony, and re-enter Antony. And Brutus says, welcome, Mark Antony. Antony, on seeing Caesar, says, O mighty Caesar, tossed thou liest so low. Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. So Antony is completely shocked in seeing the dead body of Caesar. And he says, are all your conquests, glories, triumphs, and spoils that you brought to Rome shrunk to this little measure? Means your dead body is all the fame gone, and you're just now a mere corpse. Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? So he's telling the conspirators, I do not know what your intention are after killing Caesar. Who else will you kill? Who else is next in the order of the killing? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour. So if I am on the list of ones who will be killing along with Caesar, then there is no hour so fit. So this is the best time as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. So if you are planning to kill me, this is the best time. Because of Caesar's death hour, I shall be killed in Caesar's death hour at the same time as Caesar's been dead. And no instrument, means your daggers, your swords that you are holding with Caesar's blood, with the most noble blood of all this world. So if you kill me with the same weapon, so I will welcome such death. I do beseech ye, if you bear me hard, now whilst your purple hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your purpose, fulfill your pleasure. So if you wish to kill me, this is the best time, go ahead. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. If you go to live to 1,000 years, if I lived 1,000 years, I shall not find myself a better time to die than after dying along with Caesar. No place will please me so, no mean of death, as here by Caesar, and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age. So this is the best place, this is the best time, and this is the best way of means of death. Means if you kill me the same way as you have killed Caesar, and you are the choice and master spirits of this age, if by you, then I shall be honored to be killed along with Caesar. Now Brutus says, O Antony, beg not your death of us, though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act. You can see that Brutus's hands are bloody. You see, we do. Yet see you but our hands, which are bloody. And this, the bleeding business they have done. Means the killing of Caesar, they have, and the blood is on their hands. Our hearts you see not. You can see only our hands which are bloody, but you do not see why we did it. Our hearts means the reason why we did it. They are pitiful. The reasons are pitiful. And pity to the general wrong of Rome. So we pitied that Rome was being wronged by Caesar. Therefore, we had to assassinate him. So as fire drives out fire, so pity. As fire drives out fire means as fire kills fire, so pity for the state of Rome has killed our pity for Caesar, and therefore hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony, and for you our swords have leaden points. Means we do not wish to harm you. Our swords are not sharp, but have leaden points, means heavy points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brothers' temper, do receive you in with all kind of love, good thoughts and reverence. So Brutus is reassuring Mark Antony that they only have love, good thoughts and reverence, and no hatred or for Mark Antony, and therefore he is safe. Then Cassius adds further to that, your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities. Now that Caesar is no more and we shall assume power, Mark Antony, your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities, means of new work that we'll do. You shall be an equal partner. Now Brutus continues and he says, only be patient. He is addressing Antony. Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude besides themselves with fear. So be patient, Mark Antony, till we have appeased the crowd. The multitude means the people of Rome, who are besides themselves with fear. Because Caesar has been assassinated, they are absolutely filled with fear and they need to be appeased. They need to be calmed down. And then we will deliver you the cause. Why I that did love Caesar when I struck him have thus proceeded. So then we will tell you the reason why I, means I, Brutus, who loved Caesar, was a friend of Caesar's. When I struck him, means when I stabbed him, so I was actually a friend of Caesar also and loved him, have thus proceeded, and why I did such an act. Now Antony says, I doubt not of your wisdom. So he tells Brutus, I do not question your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. Now he is stretching his hand to shake hands with the conspirators, literally. First Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours Metellus, yours Cinna, and my valiant Casca, yours. So he's like satirical in saying Casca be valiant, because Casca was the first one to strike and he had struck Caesar from behind him. So he is trying to scorn him by calling him valiant Casca. Thou last, not least in love, yours good Trebonius. And good Trebonius, you had taken me outside, I know. You had planned this and therefore you had taken me out. So though last but not least in love, yours good Trebonius. So he is trying to being satirical on Trebonius here as well. Antony continues, gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? He is addressing the conspirators. My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. So my credit or my credibility is on such slippery ground, it's on such thin ice that since Caesar is no more, my authority is not there. That one of two bad ways you must conceit me. So you must think about me in one of two ways. Either I am a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, it is true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death? So now that I am meeting with the conspirators, your killers, and your spirit is looking down on us, and that shall grieve you more, me joining the conspirators, than your death itself. To see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble in the presence of thy corpse or thy corpse or the dead body. You can see Antony kneeling in front of the dead Caesar. Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. So Antony continues and says, had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood. So just the way your wounds are streaming forth your blood, had I as many eyes, and I am so much grieved, they would shed tears. My many eyes, just like your many wounds, would shed tears. It would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. So it would be better for me to shed those tears than to make friendship with your enemies. Pardon me, Julius. So he's asking pardon from Julius Caesar. Here was thou, bared brave heart. Here was thou means at the base of Pompey's statue. Here there you were, bared brave heart. Here Shakespeare is punning on the word heart, H-E-R-T, heart, which means a deer, and H-E-R-T, heart, which is the human heart. So here was thou, bayed brave heart. Bayed means they were hunted. You were cornered, brave deer, brave Caesar, you were cornered by these conspirators here. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in their spoil, and crimson in the leath. So here your hunters, here the conspirators, those who had killed you, they are standing here, and with their arms red with blood. And, O world, thou wast the forest to this heart. O world, now he is addressing the world. Thou wast the forest to Caesar, you are such a mighty, and the entire world was your forest. You are the mighty deer. To this heart means to the mighty deer, and the entire world was his forest. And this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. And Caesar was your heart, O world. See, he is punning on the word H-A-R-T, deer, and heart of thee means you are the heart of the world, means the center of the world. How like a deer strucken by many princes dost thou lie. Mark Antony is overwhelmed with the sorrow of seeing Caesar lying dead at his foot. Then Cassius is also surprised. Mark Antony, then Antony, pardon me, Cassius. And he continues with another speech, which we shall continue in the next video. Hello, dear students. Here, this is the end of the second video of Act 3, Scene 1 of Julius Caesar. And if you have any questions regarding this scene or this play, you can get in touch with me on the numbers mentioned there on the screen. And this is mainly for the ICSE students who have Julius Caesar in their curriculum. And if you have the plot, the explanations, or if you have the MCQs or short answer questions or long answer questions, so please get in touch with me and I'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you so much. Bye bye till we meet in our third video of Act 3, Scene 1.